From Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world, I'm David Gavri, and this is the Vegas Faces podcast, where we talk with Las Vegas locals about what it's really like to live in the City of Lights. Whether you're living in Vegas, moving to Vegas, or just visiting Vegas and looking for new adventures. Together, let's discover the hidden gems that make Sin City the most visited place on earth. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Vegas Faces podcast, where we talk to the people of Las Vegas and what it's like to live in the entertainment capital of the world. I'm David Gavri. I'm a realtor with Realty One Group Summerlin here in Las Vegas. And today we have a really fun and special and amazing episode. We have Ashley, who goes by Sip With Me LV on Instagram. We also have Mom in town, Mama G's in town. We got our pool is getting worked on right now, so you're gonna hear some splashing in the background. But we've got the beautiful setup outdoors. We're gonna talk about drinks. We're gonna talk about favorite Las Vegas spots. And let's just get right into it right now. Really excited to have you here, Ashley. I just want to kick it off by talking what you do with your content. You make really beautiful drinks and you showcase it on Instagram. You also have a, not just Sip With Me LV, but you also have a Smoke With Me LV, where you do cigars and cigar content. Where do you even begin with something like this? How long have you been doing this?
Basically, I moved to Vegas 5 years ago, and when I first moved was in 2019. I hopped on Instagram. I was trying to find out where's the cool bars, where's the great spots to get a cocktail, and I couldn't really find anything. I found a lot of great foodie pages, which I love food, but I couldn't really find anything about cocktails and bars. So I was like, you know what, this is like an untouched market. I should probably I'll make my own page. So then COVID happened, everything got shut down. So I was like, put that idea on the back burner. And when things started opening back up, I figured this is the best time to do it now, because it's, supporting some of the small businesses and kind of showcasing the places I like to go as a local, as well as some strip spots. But so that's kind of how it got started. And then, mostly it was just going to different bars, taking pictures of cocktails or breweries. And then once Reels started, I got into making cocktails on my page too.
Yeah,
so and kind of bloomed into all sorts of things.
The stuff that you do, I mean, it's not just like pouring stuff into a drink and mixing it. It's really real deal craft cocktails. Like when people call you a mixologist, I now understand, whereas before I thought, oh, that's just like a fancy word. But there really is a difference between just pouring juice in a cup and saying that's a mixed drink versus the garnishes and all the little things that go into it, which we're gonna do, by the way. I'm excited to get into that. What is it like your creative process? To make a video, people just see the tip of the iceberg. They think oh, what a beautiful video. But typically I'm curious, how long does something like that even take? What goes into that? Especially with your holiday season, with your Halloween stuff was amazing. You dress up, you get real into it when you do these drink recipes. It's really fun.
Yeah, so on a typical basis, I don't know, I just try to find inspiration in something. So it could be something nostalgic, like a dessert or a food or something that I want to try to create into a cocktail. Or if it's just something random that I have in my fridge, I need to use up some blackberries, let's put it into a drink, what can I put together? And I just try to just pull inspiration from anywhere I can, whether it's a theme or a holiday or whatever. The Halloween stuff is definitely my most elaborate time of year, and I start planning it a month in advance, because I just kind of start brainstorming my cocktails. I write down recipes. Then it's a matter of actually testing out everything. I have my guinea pig husband, Jason.
Instagram husband.
Yeah, he taste tests a lot of my stuff. I'm like, all right, what do you think about this? And he has a great palate. So awesome. I love bouncing ideas off of him. And then it's just kind of tweaking things. And then it's just coming up with a setup. And, I don't want it to just be me pouring drinks and that's it. I like to have a whole kind of theme and scene and get really involved in it.
Yeah, and it's consistent. I mean, you're the first video I see when I'm up in the morning. I get up around 6, and it's funny because I'm yeah, cocktails at 6 a.m.
I know, and people are are you drinking that early? I'm no, but I post then because it's convenient for me, and I feel that's a big part of it, is just staying consistent with a time schedule, and like every day I post at 6 a.m. and that's just
Wow.
So
Yeah,
who's
but
drinking the drink at the end of the day?
Mom just wants to drink the drinks.
we're always drinking the drinks. But
What do you do with the leftover alcohol drinks, Ashley?
Oh my
We
gosh.
don't want anything to go to waste.
Yeah, I've had to like install so many more shelves in my house for all my bottles, and I'm running out of space. We have shelves on shelves on shelves, and every cabinet like
Oh,
glasses,
wow.
and I love glassware too, so that's become like a problem.
Yeah.
Because anytime I go to like Home Goods or
Well, that dresses up your drink or the glasses.
yeah, I know, and I like to have I like to just have all elements of it. So
Yeah, and what's fun too is like it's not necessarily just cocktails and like alcohol drinks. Like
Right.
you do tea, I think maybe coffee and
yeah,
like smoothies. Like elaborate if
Right.
I'm getting it
Yeah,
wrong.
tell us about tea. I'm a tea girl.
Tea. I know, and I haven't really gotten as big onto like the mocktails this year, but I do like to experiment with those as well. And we were talking about tea. We're both big tea lovers, and I feel like it's a excellent base for a cocktail or a mocktail. Because there's so many different varieties of tea, different flavors. Like even like I've made one with jasmine tea that's really
Oh, that's
good.
my favorite. I love jasmine.
Or butterfly pea tea, the one that changes
Yeah.
color. That's really pretty.
Oh, that is.
So
What
yeah,
about ginger tea? What would you
ginger
make?
tea is great too. Always like something with lemon goes good with that. I did one with hibiscus too.
Yeah, I love that. Hibiscus is pretty.
Hibiscus, ginger, and lemon, like it's a great combo. And then usually just some kind of splash of bubbles in there, soda water, or
Yeah.
like some kind of tonic or sparkling. They make so many different ones these days too. So, and even a lot of the non-alcoholic spirits and stuff like that, I've started to kind of try out, and a lot of them have come a long way. But yeah, it's just endless options when it comes
Yeah.
to making drinks, and that's the fun part.
Do you do milkshakes?
I have. I've done Boozy milkshakes.
I love those. I
yeah,
love milkshakes. So anything.
You had those
said
little
booze.
like tapioca balls, I think they're
Yeah.
filled with vodka or something like that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
to add
the
to the
boba
drinks.
pops.
Like
Yeah, those are
your
fun.
niche, what you do, it's like it's
boba
really
tea.
endless.
We could make boba tea into.
yeah, like
Seriously.
yeah, it's
Love
really fun
boba.
because you can do so much with it. Whereas like the last time Mom was in town, we did the whiskey episode, and you can only do so much with whiskey. Whereas you, it's like it really feels endless.
Well, yeah, and I love just having a good pour of something neat, by all means. But this has definitely like flourished my creative, process, and just being able to make things that are different and unique. And I love classic cocktails too. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like a good martini,
Yeah.
or I've always been a big gin and tonic girl. And that's all I drank before I started my page was just, Tanqueray and tonic, and that's all I did in my house. And then it just kind of got to the point where it's like,
Expand, try some new things. Yeah,
try something different. And same with when I go out to places too. It's just like,
yeah.
find something on the menu that's unique, that's different, that's just like no one else is doing that. And it's
Yeah.
fun to just try new things, and
What's your martini of choice, gin or vodka martini?
gin.
Okay.
Yeah, I like gin.
Yeah, I do too. Dirty martini,
Okay, I'll forgive you.
olives.
I'll forgive you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not honestly a huge martini person, but yeah, or like a Vesper martini where you do a little split of vodka and gin.
Oh,
Oh, I need to try that.
I'm not a vodka person at all, to be honest. So
I am.
gin, anything but vodka, I'll do it. But
Yeah.
I like a good martini. Aside from like, I'm pretty basic. Whiskey on the rocks, call it a
We've
day.
done a whiskey
but a martini's
martini.
good.
We had a
whiskey martinis out there.
That was
That's
just
right.
as good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, does it ever get overwhelming? Like all the endless drinks and recipes, and I guess when you're making the video, you have the recipe there at your fingertips. But I mean, there's just so many drinks to make. Do you have like a certain type that you prefer making, or anything like that?
No, I try to just keep it varied. I don't want to just pigeonhole myself into like, oh, that's the girl
Yeah.
that only makes whiskey drinks, or like, oh, she's just like a beer person or whatever. I like to kind of switch it up because everyone has different palates and different tastes. So I have a little bit of everything in my bar. So sometimes I'll do a rum drink or a mezcal drink, or, tequila. I have cognac here today.
Yeah.
I have mostly whiskey in my home, but that has a lot to do with Jason.
Shout out Jason. What's up, Jason? Jason's awesome. I'm glad that I met him. He's a really nice guy.
He's
good
awesome.
guy. Good people.
So, but yeah, it does get overwhelming, you know, and then there's always like trying to just remain creative and come up with fresh ideas. You know, that can be challenging at times, but it's also fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like anyone who wants to be a content creator, like I don't think they realize the level of consistency it takes to constantly post, to constantly put stuff out there. Like it takes a while for people to start to notice what you're doing. Like they're not just going to notice on the first couple of videos that you make. Like you have to like keep doing it. And that's why they say you really have to enjoy it because a lot of people, especially in real estate that I know, they make a couple videos and they're like, oh yeah, that social media stuff, that doesn't do anything for my business. And I'm like, okay, maybe like not.
You tried it like once or twice. And
but if you don't enjoy making videos, if you don't enjoy the editing process and everything that goes into it, then maybe the content isn't for you. It's only for the people who really enjoy doing it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's with everything you do in life. Any job that you have to kind of live and breathe it to, you know, which you enjoy it as well to be successful, to move on and, you know, to get ahead.
Yeah, because
it takes so long. If you do it once or twice, it's not for me, you're not going to get anywhere. So like with your cocktails, I'm sure you're always thinking in your brain, what's next? What can I add next, right?
Exactly.
Or, this is good, but okay, next time can I add something else and something else? And that always changes the you know, the taste. And that's a new creation.
Yeah, like in your creative brain, like I know for me when we make our real estate videos or just like the Vegas-y videos, hidden gems of Las Vegas, things like that, I'm always like, okay, that was good, but like, oh, I could tweak it a little bit this way. Like, there's never like, oh, that's good enough. Let's just keep like autopilot spitting out the same. It's always like, but I could have done that a little bit better, or that angle, that lighting, or like it's really maddening. It's like it's like, why can't I just be happy with what it is?
I'm my worst critic by far. I'm always criticizing every little thing.
That's what'll make you successful.
Yeah.
Because you care enough. Well, you care enough to criticize yourself to want to be better, and wanting to be better makes you more successful.
And
that makes you more happy.
Yeah, just never be complacent. They do say in business, like you're either growing or dying. Like you're never just stagnating. There's no such thing as plateauing. You're either getting better or you're getting worse because other people are getting better and you're falling behind. So I think it's a good thing. It's like it's a double-edged sword because it does feel like, oh, it's so intense and anxiety provoking sometimes. Especially when you have to see yourself. Even for these podcasts, when you watch it and you're like, oh, I can't believe I said that or I moved this way. But it's like, it's all about the growth and the evolution of just getting better as a creative in any space.
Right. And I know there's been times where I'm like, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this. I'm thinking in my head, I'm all set up for starting my cocktail because once I press play, there's no going back. And sometimes I only have enough ingredient to make one cocktail. So it's like, I have to nail it. And there'll be times where I'm starting mixing things and then I'm like, shoot, I forgot my strainer. And I'm like, what do I do? I know. So, it's like, Jason, get my strainer. It's like on the couch.
Well, you can edit that out, can't you?
Yeah, usually I speed up the video enough, then he comes running to me, I'll just grab it. And it's like, okay, phew, crisis averted. But, you know, you can only prepare so much. Sometimes it's just, it is what it is. But
it makes me think, like, do you probably like pre-measure with water or something to make sure, because I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that's why I like make all my cocktails at least one time before I just go for it, because that way I know the ratio's right, the flavor's right, like the presentation is what I want. So
there's always like a pretty flower, like a pretty garnish. Like, do you have a garden, or like where do you get that type of stuff? The leaves, the pretty, the bells and whistles. Like, for instance, these orange slices. You brought orange slices. Like,
yeah, the little dehydrated things. I actually got those at World Market. They sold them in like a set with all different kinds of citrus. So it's
it's like a wreath and smells good.
They all just like package them in like little bags. So you can do that yourself. I know you can just slice them up and throw them in the oven and
you cook it.
Put a little, more effort into it. But it's like, you can just buy that whole set for like
$10. Okay, like at a farmer's market, like at a farmer's market type of?
I don't go to farmer's markets, but yeah, I got that at World Market, and then usually just stuff from the grocery store.
Yeah, like
some
anyone,
fresh herbs or whatever.
I'm just picturing people who want to make fancy cocktails at home.
You can get like the little
Okay.
like edible flowers and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think on Amazon.
Like the lemon peel, the orange peel, like all that stuff. I'm like, that's too much work. Just pour whiskey in a glass.
I have a little peeler at home, and I'm still not like very proficient in it, but I try to get better.
Yeah, it's just fun because it is such an art in itself. Making drinks, it's kind of like cooking. It's like you can get really fancy with your cooking, or you could just pop something in the microwave. I think me pouring a glass of whiskey is like the equivalent of just popping something in the microwave. But like you can get really fancy with it and dress it up and make it fun. Like it's really.
And then you put it in a pretty glass.
Pretty glass. Yeah. Glassware. That's a whole thing.
Oh, the glassware. Yeah, it makes your drink plus the garnish.
Yeah.
Those are your two things.
Yeah. So because this is a Vegas podcast, I want to ask you some Vegas questions. We could start with like recommendations, whether it be restaurants, bars, lounges, cigar lounges.
Yeah.
Whatever your favorite spots are here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Spots that maybe people might not realize or think about. It can be strip, off the strip, everywhere.
Yeah.
Whatever your favorite personal spots are.
All right. Well, right now, my very favorite spot, which I saw you there too, Las Vegas Distillery.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The grand opening. That was so fun.
But I've been back there multiple times, and I love that place. So you should bring your mom if you haven't.
We should.
But,
Okay.
All right,
They have a really good matcha tea drink.
We're going.
Oh
Whatever
yeah.
that matcha tea
the
cocktail was.
East Side Sour, or
Yeah.
Eastgate Sour. Eastgate Sour is what it's called. But it's a distillery, so they make all their own booze. You can do a tour there, and with most
fun.
distilleries I've been to, you go in, you do a tour, you do a tasting, buy a couple bottles, you're out of there.
Done. Right.
But they actually have a really nice
Tables?
cocktail bar and little like
nice.
lounge area, and they have a really cool cocktail menu that's seasonal. They change the drinks regularly, and it's featuring all of their spirits. And
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going.
The people there are amazing.
That's a date.
Yeah,
the
it's a good
food there
spot.
is also really good too.
Yeah.
The pizza.
Uh-huh.
So that's my top spot of the moment. But I also like if you're going on the strip, which I don't go the strip very often. I think when you're local, you just don't.
Yeah.
Because everything's like double the
Yeah.
price.
Unless mom's in town and she's on spring break.
Yeah, and it's like if I have people in town that are like staying on the strip and they just want to visit there, then it's like okay. But I love the Vanderpump cocktail.
Ooh, is that Caesar's? Caesar's
So
Palace?
they have the one at Caesar's and then they have one at Paris, and they're both a little bit different.
Okay.
But they are beautiful bars, and they also have like the most gorgeous
Wow.
cocktails. They're really like their garnish game is on point. They always
Ooh.
have like really elaborate, beautiful garnishes.
Oh,
The
that's
flavors are delicious, just very presentable drinks, and it's
Yeah.
in a really cool environment. So that's always a fun spot that I recommend.
That's the one thing I appreciate about your videos
Yeah.
is you do kind of, I mean, you, like the general audience, I think sometimes takes for granted how nice like a craft cocktail can be packaged.
Right.
Like you order it and it's just like, ooh, it's got all this foo-foo fancy stuff in it. But like to get all those pieces, it's the equivalent of like a really beautiful presentation at a really nice restaurant.
Yeah.
Like the plate, the
Oh
everything.
yeah, the plating, just having
Yeah,
it's just,
like plating. I don't know if they call it plating, but whatever they call it, dressing up the glass.
Yeah, I'm
to
just
make
thinking of
it,
food.
to make it
Yeah.
pretty. Like it's not like back in the day where it was just like a Shirley Temple, just toss a cherry in
yeah, exactly.
it. Like it's really come a long
I
way.
grew up that way.
It's come a long way to where it's like, where does it go from here? Like,
I know.
How do you make them even more extravagant or
Yeah.
more
Wait and
fancy
find
and
out.
fun? I know. You gotta wait
Right.
and find out, I guess.
Exactly. People have gotten crazy, and I know with like smoking cocktails or like with the little bubble and like
Yeah.
people get kind of crazy.
Whatever
with
they've
it
done
now.
to food, they're now doing it to drinks. Is what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
which
really
is-
cool.
It's
great.
Yeah, it's exciting because it really
It
just
makes it more fun to go out and order a drink because otherwise a plain drink. Why shouldn't I just stay home? I can pour that,
I know.
unless I want to
Yeah.
get out, make a change of scenery. But
Right.
having an exciting fuzzy drink, bubbling or doing whatever,
Right.
it's exciting to see and makes your evening fun.
Exactly. Yeah. There's nothing that like drives me crazy more than getting a cocktail and it not having a garnish on it. I don't know why. Unless you're just getting like, oh, I'm just gonna get like
You're
a neat
funny.
pour of this or this on the rocks.
Yeah.
If it's just like a straight spirit, obviously that doesn't require a garnish. But a cocktail that has no garnish or no like rim, no anything fancy with it, I'm just like, what?
That's so funny because now I'm going to notice that.
I know. It's
now
like you
I'm
could
gonna
at
be bougie.
least throw like a little lime wheel on it or something, you know?
No, you're right. You're right. It makes a difference. It does make a difference.
I feel
people are so
fancy
visual with that.
If I have an extra lime, I feel so fancy if I put the lime on my little. Like,
It makes such a difference though, doesn't it? Just throw a little like sprig of mint in there or something.
Yeah, you feel like you earned something, like you accomplished something. Like, wow, look at that lime on the glass. It's so stupid, but it works. It's so funny.
It does though. It makes a difference.
Speaking of which, shall we make our first drink? So when you make a drink, and this is, I'm literally trying to like put myself in the shoes of like anyone who's watching that wants to try this at home. And then once you have the ingredients, then you start with the garnish. Like I see you pouring chocolate syrup on the plate with the orange peels.
So I pretty much make all my recipes are my own.
Wow.
So I don't like look up recipes unless it's like a classic. So, and even with this one, this is a classic cocktail that I tweaked.
Wow.
So pretty much everything I just make on my own, and I just kind of put it together and figure out how much of what I need. But the key to any good cocktail is balance. So, you know, whether you got sweet, spice, smoke, bitter, you know, tart, just balancing all those flavors so that one flavor doesn't overpower the rest. That's pretty much
So what is the name of this cocktail and what is the flavor theme?
Okay. So basic sidecar is going to be cognac or brandy, as well as Cointreau and then lemon juice. And it usually has a sugar rim. But this one I'm doing is basically a spiced chocolate orange sidecar. And the really cool thing about this one is too, I recently worked with Zenon at Happy Ending Chocolate, who's out here. He's a local chocolatier. And he wanted to collaborate on a chocolate, and he was basically like, come up with a cocktail and I'm gonna turn it into a chocolate. So this is the
what he did.
This is the one that I use. So
you're talking to the chocolate queen over here, Mom. Every time
I
she
love
comes to
chocolate.
town,
I get
she's obsessed with
excited.
See's candies. Like,
Yes.
she loves going to See's candies.
I've been going there since 1975.
oh yeah, love
I
it.
love
Chocolates,
that
candies,
candy.
all of it. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this guy's too. He makes some like
All right,
He's
well, you have
based
to
in
try
Vegas?
it.
yeah.
no kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
Happy Ending Chocolate, and he makes like incredible handmade ice cream tacos too in the summertime.
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
And he has a place here?
He basically sells out of different locations. So he's going to be selling my chocolate that I collaborated with him on
That's-
at Corey's in
yeah.
Henderson.
It's a nice
So
place too. Wow.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when he came to me with that idea, I was like, I am so down because I think that's so much
fabulous.
fun.
So
Yeah, I figured I would make that cocktail because that chocolate's going to be available anytime soon. So now you can see
Yeah, and
the
that's
making
exciting.
of what I
Nice.
am doing.
How
so
you do it?
Ashley, can I bother you to lift it up so the camera, there we go. All right, so we are dipping the glass in chocolate first and then from the chocolate to the sugar?
yeah, and
So that
I'm
the
only going to
sugar-
do like a half a rim. I'm not going to do the whole thing. That way, I prefer like a half a rim because that way you don't have to commit to having that flavor every single time you sip. And I think it just kind of
That's a
looks
good idea.
looks nice.
I
Yeah,
like
the
that.
level of thought that goes into this, it's awesome.
So
Wow.
Yeah, so your rim isn't so sugary and every taste isn't
Yeah.
with the sugar.
right, that way it's an option. It's there if you want it. It looks nice, but you don't have to have it. So
Well, it looks good already.
Pretty.
It's like a
I love
little,
that
like,
the fact that you're totally, like these
Came
are
up
your
with it.
recipes. That's amazing. Do you have like a recipe book or something or blog, something online with your recipes?
yeah, so I have my website. That's just sipwithmelv.com, and I have a little section there that's just like all my recipes that I've pretty much created over the years.
Wow.
And but yeah, at home I just write things
Yeah.
down in a book, and I kind of like
It's amazing.
try to get ideas and think of what's going to go well together.
Do you handpick which type of cognac or which type of whiskey? Like, do you have preferences? Meaning, I'm going to make this drink today, but this drink works best with this type of whiskey or this type
Yeah,
of.
definitely. So like if you're thinking of wanting a little more like spiced, like baking spices or whatever, I'd go with a rye over just a bourbon, or you know, if I want something a little smoky, get like a scotch.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's definitely got to think of those things. And I also, so I have Remy Martin VSOP, which is just a very basic standard cognac. It's nothing like super high end. And I think that's, you don't want anything like bottom shelf, you know, like in the plastic bottles, but you also don't need to use something super high end when you're mixing. So just something kind of like middle of the road is always good. That way you don't, you know, you can still taste it, but it's not gonna be like you're using this $150 bottle for a cocktail, you know, that's essentially gonna get watered down.
Oh, it's so fun. It reminds me of like the whiskey group. There's like so many groups on Facebook, but there's a whiskey group for Vegas. And if you even like joke about like taking some really rare, expensive bottle and mixing it, they'll like, you know, exile you from the group. Like,
oh boy.
Really? Wow.
It's like, how dare you? That's such a rare bottle. You're gonna mix it.
Oh no, yeah.
They're
like,
serious. They're
It's
serious.
like,
They are
hey,
very
like,
serious.
but drink it how you like to drink it. It doesn't. You know.
Not everybody likes it straight.
Yeah,
They need to have a little mixture. Not, it's too strong sometimes.
So I'm making this cocktail for two, obviously here. So I put in like 4 ounces of the cognac, and then I'm gonna add 2 ounces of orange juice. So this is kind of taking the place of what would normally be lemon juice, because I wanted more of the orange flavor and it gives it a little bit more sweetness. And then orange liqueur here. And this I would normally use half an ounce, but since I'm doubling it up, it's going to be an ounce. Sorry, I'm making kind of a mess over here.
It's all good.
And then this is like the spiced component that St. Elizabeth Allspice Dram.
Is that whiskey?
No, it's just a
Flavor?
liqueur, but it has like kind of like allspice,
Ooh,
clove,
yeah. Smell it, Mom. Yeah,
nutmeg.
it's got. I love this time of year because that
It
is the
a very
smell.
good, like,
Really good.
That is holiday.
smell.
That smells like
That's
holiday
a
season.
I was just going to say, yeah. There's a candle that smells like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Right?
it's really fun
Yeah.
what you do because
I love
there's
that.
so many different types of liqueurs and mixers and
Yeah, that's definitely
garnishes.
holiday.
It really becomes fun.
And then last is just going to be some chocolate bitters, and these Scrappy's bitters.
I didn't even know they
are-
made chocolate bitters. I have regular bitters.
I'm obsessed with chocolate bitters.
Wow.
So
Yeah, anything chocolate.
then I have ice in here already.
Did you used to bartend? Did I miss that?
Oh, my husband and I did bartending school in California. And just because we were like, oh, that'd be a fun little like side hustle, basically. So we got our certificate together, and then we started a mobile bartending business in California, and we did that for just like a year, and it was actually pretty popular.
Ooh, that looks pretty.
But it was to the point where our full-time jobs, you know, were like taking up too much time, and we didn't have the storage for all the things for our business.
Yeah.
Plus we both drove like 2-seater cars. Like we can't transport all this stuff without like renting a truck.
People don't think it. They only see the video. They have no idea of all the
What goes
madness
behind it.
that goes
Yeah,
on, the
exactly.
logistical
So it was-
nightmares, and
Yeah, we did like some weddings, we did some like business functions, and it was a lot of fun while it lasted, but that was basically like my intro into bartending stuff. So
cool.
here you go. Cheers.
Wow, that is
That's
pretty.
beautiful.
Wow. Okay. Before we okay. I
know.
I don't want to like mess up the drink. It's so perfect.
Do you
if I
wa-
touch
you-
the glass.
I know. It's like I feel like I want a sip of it just to make sure that it's actually.
So
still
let's just get like a good.
Hey, don't be unsure.
I know. Do you
Honestly,
want
you
me
guys-
to make?
you
I can
two
make
enjoy it
another one
because-
with this other.
No, I'll have some of
We'll share.
Mom's
We'll
because
share.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to get sloppy
I should
and
give you the prettier one then.
end up in the
Oh,
pool.
I don't
That's
care.
my stripping.
It's all good.
And hey, this
Still going down the same place.
Anytime
right?
Mom's in town, it's literally like, okay, we need to book you a
party.
really fun podcast
Well,
party
you just did.
with her martini
Cheers.
shirts.
Wait. Let me move it around. Here we go.
See,
Cheers,
Mom
darling.
knows. Cheers.
This is
Yay,
beautiful.
That is a pretty drink. Wow,
I'm going to drink it with the chocolate to get the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to swallow the orange.
The orange is
No.
just floating in there. It's not going to hurt you.
Oh, that's good.
You like it?
Yes, I honestly like it. This is delicious.
All right, Mother Dear, pass it.
Oh my goodness.
She doesn't want to share.
Like you can share mine, but
Oh, cheers.
but
That is
now
good.
you can
No,
imagine
it's
that
really
as
good.
a
So
chocolate
take a
too.
sip with the chocolate,
Yeah.
right? Obviously,
So,
I guess.
I thought that would
That you
would
did a good
work really
job.
well
That
for
is
a
really, you
chocolate.
did fabulous.
Like
Thanks.
for someone like me who doesn't like mixed drinks much, I
I'm
don't
not a-
like sugary drinks.
This is good.
And
Yeah, this
I
is
would
a
totally
dessert.
order this.
Wow. You've got the spice, the cloves that we went
Yeah,
over.
that allspice dram
The
is
orange
so good.
zestiness, the chocolate with
It's the
sugar.
clove, the aftertaste of the clove is, I
Ooh.
think, is what does it.
Yeah, like there's something about what you just made versus, just pouring the orange juice and throwing some
And
vodka
she made
in
it look
there
simple.
and putting
It
a
was,
straw.
It was, yeah.
Like this is
pretty
very
easy,
But to
right?
cut, you
Elegant.
came up with all this. It's amazing. It's wonderful.
Wow.
And it tastes
I always
delicious.
go pretty
All right,
like
Mother Dear.
booze heavy
Have
on
as
my
much as you want,
cocktails
honey.
too. So, but
This is going
love it.
down the
I love
drain. Going down my pipe.
Yeah, I mean, just like the craft that goes into it. Like I
Yeah.
appreciate it versus just throwing some stuff together and,
thanks.
putting a straw in it, calling it a day. So
Yeah,
very, very fun.
involves a little more thought.
a lot of thought. Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
of thought that goes into this.
It's a lot
And
of
it
fun.
shows. It shows in looking at it, it shows, and the taste, it shows.
And the fact that you you create these recipes, which means you probably have to experiment with how much and how little, and too much spices this time, try it less at that time, write that down.
Yeah.
What's the magic potion? Finally, there
Right.
it is, done deal. So
Yeah, and
Is it a lot of trial and error?
Not a lot. No, it's usually, and especially at this point, I've been doing this now for 4 years.
So,
that
okay, you got
I've-
it down.
I've kind of got it down to I know like, okay, this much spirit, this much mixer, this much, acid or whatever to kind of do the right balance. And then I'll usually make just like one or two before I like go for it and make my reel that way. In case there's anything that I'm like, it's missing something or it's too much of this, I can kind of balance it out and then I kind of just go for it.
and then you do the editing yourself too?
Yeah.
Oh man, wow! So
Yeah.
you're in it. You do it
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
That's great.
I know it's very time consuming, but
What's
you
like
know.
on average? What does like one video take you? Like a couple days worth of work? Like in terms of hours? How many hours?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on, because I just kind of like, if you're talking about from concept to finish, or if it's just like the reel and then editing it and doing the voiceover, I can knock that out in, an hour or two. So my days off, my Wednesday and Thursday
Yeah.
are pretty much committed
Content
to
days.
editing pictures, editing videos, piecing things together, finding the music, doing the voiceover, and
Finding the music, I would think that's
Yeah.
takes a lot of
Yeah,
work. That's
yeah,
a lot of
well,
timing to figure out what music goes with what drink.
And the voiceover, you got to write out a script, I imagine.
yeah. So usually I type it up on the
Yeah.
computer. I found that works out best for me. That way I can kind of try it with the video to make sure that
Yeah.
it times right and everything. And yeah, so it's
It's a lot.
I
mean,
know.
Yeah, mad props, mad
it's a
respect.
lot more than like people think goes into it. That's why it's just like sometimes I want to just post a pretty picture of a drink and call it a day.
Right. That's so funny.
I can imagine making cocktails every single day on my page, and I know there's a lot of people that do
do
that,
that.
and it's just like I can't unless
Yeah.
I wanted to just do drinks that were already out there. But
Mm-hmm.
I like coming up with my own things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be different.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
It's
doing great.
All right. You also have a Smoke With Me page.
Yes.
So let's talk cigars.
Yes.
Let's smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
Mom likes cigars.
We can. I
you
brought
go.
some
Okay.
just because I'm always prepared. So
All right.
That's
Just-
awesome.
I love this little tackle box that you have.
I know,
it's called a Herfador.
Here's the thing.
It's a tackle box for
I
cigars.
know very little about cigars. I know some about cigars thanks to the last episode we did with JD and Michael. But
Yeah, they taught
as
them a
far
lot.
as storage, I even saw a post that you mentioned like your humidor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm totally lost when it comes to once you've bought the cigar, then what? You store it in a, what is this called?
Well, this is a Herfador, so this is just like a little traveling humidor, basically. So it stays the proper humidity and temperature, basically. So
Okay. So like, what about for people who, someone like myself dabbles in cigars? I might have a couple a month, if that. Special occasion, let's call it. Special occasion cigar smokers.
yeah.
If I'm hosting people and I want to offer a cigar, where should I store them? And I'm asking because I've seen two types. I've seen the wooden cedar box,
we
and
have
I've also
that.
seen the, it looks like a refrigerator, but it's like an electronic,
Right.
looks like a mini fridge.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, what is your preference? What do you like to get into when it comes to storing cigars, keeping them fresh?
I think for the occasional cigar smoker like you are, I would just get one of the little cedar boxes. They just have the little, it's like a desktop humidor and can hold like, 50 cigars probably. So I think that's a good place to start. We usually get those little humidification packs, the bodega, and keep those in there. So just keeping it controlled at the proper temperature and humidity is mainly the key. But and that it's like a nice sealed humidor, so no like air can get into it.
Do you have a preference on a place in Vegas that you'd like to give a shout out to to maybe get a box or get cigars from or things like that?
Well, I've never been to the Las Vegas cigar outlet.
Okay.
I've heard that is a good place to get a humidor.
Okay.
I bought mine, so I have like a 300 count, one of the like
Big
refrigerator looking ones.
Yeah.
So I got that from a friend that was like getting rid of his or something. It was brand new. So I lucked out on getting a good deal on that, and that's almost full at this point, which is exciting. But as far as places to buy cigars, supporting the local shops, I like Smoke a lot. I like Triple Crown. Tap and Ash is really good too. And those are probably like my top places, my top favorite lounges. La Casa is good too out here in Summerlin.
Wow. So like when you say that your 300 count cigar box is overflowing?
Well, it says it can fit 300, but right now I have like 170 in there and I feel like I'm out of room. So
But even, okay,
I know there's room.
So
to
what do
grow.
you do
what
with
does
so
one
many
do
cigars?
with 100 plus? I guess you
I
can
have
you can store them
107.
for months, years,
years,
and they stay fresh. They stay nice
as long
and
as you, keep everything properly controlled, then they can last for years. But I smoke a lot of cigars, honestly. So, but there are times where if I'm going someplace too, and it's like I'll buy a cigar there or whatever. So it's that number hasn't really changed with even the amount that I smoke, because it's usually I'll probably smoke about like 3 to 6 cigars a week. So
Okay. And are you at the end of the day, after work, come home, have a cigar, kind of
First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
If I'm on vacation,
some people,
if I'm on vacation, then I like smoking during the day.
Cigarette smokers do it first thing in the
Yeah.
morning. Do
But
cigar smokers.
how does that work? And also, like, what's your type? Do you like the darker ones, the lighter ones, the giant ones that take 2 hours to burn, or the short little ones that Babe Ruth used to smoke?
I like it all, actually. So basically how I got into cigars was from Jason again too. He's a bad influence on me apparently. But so he used to like smoke a cigar when we come out here on vacation, and it was just like a very rare like, oh, we're at this bar and you can smoke cigars, I'm gonna get a cigar. Like, okay, cool. And after a certain point, we moved out here and started doing that more often, and I was kind of like, let me have some of your cigar. I always like the smell of it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just like, okay, I want my own now. And then it was a slippery slope into like just getting more into it, more involved. And I actually became a certified cigar sommelier earlier this year.
Congratulations.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
thanks. Yeah, it was fun. So
That's big time. That's
it was
wonderful.
Cool. It was cool to learn more
Yeah.
about the process and the history, and just get more in depth in a subject that I already really enjoyed. So it just brings another level of appreciation to it for me.
Is that a difficult test to pass?
It was. It was actually a lot harder than I thought.
There's a lot to learn.
And it was.
The sommelier test is a hard one.
And
the one with the wine?
That's what I'm
thinking.
thinking.
I don't think. I mean, I've heard that one is crazy hard.
When I took my real estate exam, because they send you to a testing center, so someone else is taking the bar exams. They're all different tests.
Yeah.
And there was a sommelier or a person taking the sommelier test, and he was like losing his mind.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
like, good luck, buddy. I hope you pass, and if you do, I hope to go to your restaurant someday.
He looked extremely nervous.
He was like, I don't think I'm gonna pass this one. I was like, all right, well, I was like, you got this. Like, I don't know the guy. Like,
That was nice.
what are you supposed to say? Like, he's having a meltdown. I'm trying to pass on real estate.
Encourage each other. That's what you do.
Point being, I hear it's a really tough one. So,
So with cigars.
Cigars, you have to learn the tobacco.
Is it just as difficult?
I don't think it's as intense as the wine one, but it was still difficult, and
like there's so much that goes into a cigar. The wrapper, the
wrapper, binder, filler.
Yeah, like I thought that this one cigar was made in Connecticut. I'm like, I didn't know Connecticut makes cigars like that. Like I always thought Nicaragua or Cuba.
Well, that's what I thought.
And
South
they go, no,
America.
just the wrapper portion of the cigar is made in Connecticut because that's where they grow that tobacco to make just the wrapper. And I'm like, dude, how much is it? Like, I don't. That's
I know.
so much.
Yeah.
I'm so basic. I know nothing. I'm just like, is it a good one? Can I smoke it?
At the end of the day, it's just whatever you
prefer.
Whatever
no,
you
but it's cool to
prefer.
learn. It's cool to learn that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is, and it's before I would just pick a cigar based on what the band looked like because I was like, ooh, this is pretty, I like that.
Was
I
it
used
don't
to wear
judge a
those
cigar
bands
by its
as a ring.
cover?
We used to use those bands as rings.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Way back in my day.
Well,
yeah,
were they like metal back in the day, or were they
no,
always
paper.
little paper rings?
And the thing was, can you get it on your finger without tearing it?
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny.
Would you like to pop one? I mean, I'll share one with Mom.
So I brought a little spread of different ones. These Rojas. This is a little guy that I.
Ooh, cute. Okay.
They're always kind of fun.
I like the. I don't know if we could show it on the camera. This is like.
That's my kind.
little-
Small. I don't smoke much. That one
that's a
is
fun
really
little-
just enough,
That's
right?
Yeah, me and Mom.
You guys wanna do that one?
Sure,
That's
sure.
okay.
cute.
Just for a demonstration, and also, again, for people that I have friends who like cigars, but we all together really know nothing about it. I might have a cigar from like 5 years ago that's completely dried out, and I'm like, here, guys, like, and we know nothing about it. We're like, this is a good cigar. Like, we know nothing about it.
Just don't give it to her.
We know
'cause
nothing
she's
about the
gonna throw it
storage of
away.
it. But yeah, I think I'm at the level of okay.
Actually, we'll know in a minute.
I should get like a box and keep it nice and like moist because you don't want it to dry out. And we are
Get
in a
one
desert,
of these.
so.
If you're going to keep just a few cigars, get a small thing like
But
this.
can it stay in this case for months at a time, or is this more just for when you
This
travel,
is more
like
for
temporary?
travel.
Oh, got you. So the one
Um,
she talked about, go get one, a
Okay.
small one.
But even people have put them in like seal tight, like Ziploc kind of containers,
Okay.
ones that actually lock with a locking lid. And if you get just the little like humidification packs,
Okay.
I'm cutting your cigar for you. Sorry.
No,
wanted me to
thank
do that,
you.
but I just like,
Don't apologize. I'm like,
He's not going to know the difference.
yeah. I just think that's how
And
it's
neither
supposed
am
to be.
I. I really
Now-
never knew you cut those.
There is a question I do have for the intermediate cigar people, and that is the shape of the cigar. I've noticed that there's like the long tube shape. There's this one, which I think is called torpedo, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
torpedo is usually where just one of the ends is tapered. This is,
Okay.
I guess, considered more of like a figurado, where both ends have
Okay.
a taper to it. But yeah, there is
What's the deal with that? What's up with that? Why do they do it that way?
just a matter of how they
Look?
want to make it. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't. They have like box press too, and
Okay.
that's just kind of how they form it when they put it
Yeah.
into a box. And there's not really any like it doesn't make it a better,
Okay.
higher quality or anything.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of their preference on how they wanted to
Okay.
like make the cigar. But these ones typically, because it's like smaller at one end, you get a little more concentrated flavor because it's like pushing it into a smaller area.
Okay.
Versus, so a lot of times people think that like bigger ring gauge cigars are stronger cigars just because they're really big.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily translate because usually it's like the skinnier cigar, there's like more concentration of tobacco.
So it could be more
if
potent
that makes
than
sense.
the bigger.
So
That makes sense.
There's usually just more filler in like a bigger ring gauge cigar, so it's not
wow.
necessarily like stronger tobacco. It's just more
Yeah.
more filler in there.
Very
So-
fascinating. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. to light it? My bad. I'm like,
Yeah, you know how to light it, right?
I thought Because then there's like do you punch it? Do you snip
I
it?
already cut it for
Oh,
you,
right.
so you
Take care of
just
it.
have to. Yeah.
Just put it in your mouth and light up.
Okay,
Let's go, buddy. Let's go.
Did I get it?
Looks like it.
Can you
Just
taste
torch
it?
it a little bit. Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I've never seen one where they're like little tiny little. I don't know how anyone does it without a lighter like this. Like people do them with matches. They go through a whole book of matches just
Yeah,
to light.
I've seen that. You're right.
Yeah, the little single flame torch is the way to go.
Okay, as far as flavor, tastes light.
Yeah, that one's
Which
pretty
is
light.
totally my jam,
So
totally
that
my
is
style.
a
So,
Connecticut.
There you go. You got
Oh
one.
yeah. So Connecticut is like known for
So that's
something.
considered
When
a
it-
Connecticut shade wrapper. So it's usually the lighter one. But yeah, it's usually
Okay.
definitely a
Is it
little
an
more.
enjoyable taste for you? You
yeah,
like
yeah.
it?
Because I don't think I like the really dark heavy. I like light. Keep it simple.
I didn't get any.
Oh, see, I didn't even know you're supposed to do it like that. So light it first before puffing on it while lighting it?
Yeah, generally just to like get a nice even burn across the whole thing, and then
You learn something new every day. I love it.
yeah, just kind of like move it around to get the.
I feel it go down, but I don't see anything
Well,
come out.
don't inhale it. Don't inhale it, Mom.
Yeah,
Why not?
Don't inhale it.
No, why not?
That's gonna make you sick.
No, why not?
Then you're not gonna want to do this ever again.
Isn't inhaling like one cigar the equivalent of like
All right,
inhaling
here.
a whole
This
pack of
is good.
cigarettes or something?
It's a very smooth taste. Yeah, that in a martini, that's really good to do.
Well, what gets really fun with what you do are the pairings.
Yeah.
What drinks
I
go
was
with
just going
what
to ask,
cigar?
what drink will you have with this cigar?
Like what food goes with what drink? Like it really.
All right, so what's your dinner and your cigar and your drink going to be like?
Oh boy, dinner.
dream meal / drink / cigar?
Yeah, all right, with this drink, take it. We
Okay,
made this
let's-
drink. Let's make it simple. With what dinner would go with this drink and that cigar you're smoking?
I would think like some kind of. We were talking about duck earlier.
Ooh,
If you
okay.
did like a duck à l'orange or something.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Now you're
Just
talking.
Get some fall flavors in there.
Yes.
Nice crispy skinned duck.
Ooh, yeah.
Some kind of starch in there. Maybe some potatoes or
Yeah, sweet potato.
sweet potato.
Oh yeah. That's holiday season.
I think we got
yeah.
yeah, we got a meal there.
Nailed
You need
it.
some like
Yeah.
roasted carrots or
A
something.
nice autumn salad. Okay, we got that.
Do you have a cigar preference? The darker ones, the lighter ones, the
Typically
doesn't matter?
darker, yeah.
Yeah?
I like more Maduros.
like a robust flavor?
Yeah, usually like medium to full. I like when they have notes of like dark chocolate and coffee, a little like pepper, earth to them. So yeah, generally the darker wrappers usually get more of those kind of like chocolatey and coffee notes that I really like.
Yeah.
But I always just kind of just pick whatever, something
Yeah.
I haven't tried before. And
and then you learn about it.
yeah, exactly. So I don't really like to just stick with the same thing every time. Anytime I go into a humidor, I'm always just like, want to try something new.
Yeah.
Whether it's a brand I haven't tried or like a different, like Vitola, different shaped cigar,
Yeah.
or just something from a brand that I love that I haven't tried before. So
Yeah.
just to switch it up, keep things interesting, and try new things.
Amazing.
great.
Tell me something about Vegas that you know, living here, working in hospitality, but not everybody knows. Like a little Vegas fun facts, maybe hidden gems, or doesn't even have to be hospitality related. Something that you love about Vegas that I bet most people don't know about this.
I know. Do you know what when the first brewery came to Las Vegas and what it was called?
No,
No.
I sure don't.
So Holy Cow Brewing Company,
Okay.
they opened in 1993. That was Las Vegas's first brewery.
Oh wow.
And it's actually still open today, but it's known as Big Dogs.
Oh wow.
So Big Dogs was the owner of it, and then they eventually moved it out, like way out there north. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but
Where's it located, or what part of town?
like not quite Centennial.
Okay.
Out there
in
though.
that vicinity.
Yeah.
Okay. Big dogs.
Yeah, but classic good beer. They have really good food there too. But apparently they still have a cow in the Big Dogs too, as like an ode to the first brewery.
Oh, that's nice.
But I know, yeah.
I like that. I like that.
I think
The
that's
dog
the
and
only.
the cow. They went from cow to dog.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's fun that we make our own whiskey here in Vegas, right? Or technically Smoke Wagon, I guess. You've got Frey Ranch, which is upper Nevada, so I guess it's not necessarily Vegas. We have breweries here made in Vegas. We have wineries here in Vegas. Like
what do you not have in
What
Vegas?
do we not have? Yeah.
I know.
What do we need that we don't have?
Honestly, and that was like my biggest draw to move out here was just like we have everything, you know?
Yes.
And everything is so close too.
Yes.
Even if you're not even talking about food and stuff to do, it's like you have the snow you can go see in 45 minutes. You have the lake you can go see in another 45 minutes. You know, you have the middle of the desert in 45 minutes. It's like everything is just right there.
Yep, different types of landscapes all jam-packed within an hour or
yeah,
less.
everything is together. You don't have to leave the state.
Yeah, I know. It's all so close and also different, and what I love about this place too. So.
Yeah, we're sold. I mean, the fact that it's technically winter. I mean, we're like middle of December, and I mean it's like now starting to get chilly now that the sun's going down.
Okay, chilly, but you're not cold.
But we're not freezing. This isn't Chicago anymore. No offense, Chicago. Still love you though.
Oh God.
No offense.
I don't know how you did that.
It was an adventure. Growing up in Texas, never living in snow. It was an adventure until it wasn't. Until you're like, wow, this is like aging me fast. Like just to put on layers, just to go take the trash out.
Nobody smiled. Did you notice?
That's a big city. That's not like New York. Like everyone's hustle
they're all
bustle
cold.
on a
That's
mission.
why. Nobody's happy in that cold. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. I don't think I could. I don't think I could handle it.
No. People here are always happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Good weather.
I know.
Actually, before we totally wrap this up, we've been almost an hour. It goes by fast.
Nice, yeah.
Like tell like where people can find you, like your different channels, maybe what you're trying to do, moving on in the future, and things like that.
So I'm on Instagram at sipwithme_LV, LV for Las Vegas. And I always crack up because people are like, where are you from? Where do you live? And I put it in my little bio and everything. Las Vegas.
That's great.
But it's like, yes, the LV is for Las Vegas. Also at smokewithme_LV. And I had started a YouTube channel, but I haven't done anything with it. I would really like in the new year to get more involved in that and actually create a brand. So make it a business, make it official, maybe start some merch or some other fun stuff and just see where it takes me. But at this point, I'm just having fun. I'm getting to meet a lot of great new people, including people like you guys that I never would have had the chance to do if I didn't start this. So it's been a fun journey and it's still going.
Totally. No, it's so fun to see you at all the little whiskey events. Like I try to go wherever I can make it. We've got 2 kids, so we do what we can. But it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to know anybody. And I'm like, okay, hopefully Ashley and Jason are there. We'll know somebody. And it's a nice little world.
It is.
Within the, Vegas is already a small town, but it's nice to see familiar faces at these little fun little events that pop up every now and then.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we got it good here for sure. So.
Yeah. Well, Ashley, thank you for being one of the Vegas Faces.
Thank you. Thank you for being my first podcast.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Congratulations.
Was it fun?
I mean, it was just like talking to friends, so it was great.
I like the setup that we did feels really like calm and natural. I think the microphones with the headphones feels a little like too intense.
It felt like you're on the radio.
This is like we're just hanging out in the backyard, having some drinks, smoking some cigars,
We're at a party. We made our own little party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
a podcast party.
Thank you guys if you stuck around to the end for watching. I hope you like and subscribe.
And cheers to a fabulous drink.
Yeah, shout out Mama G for another podcast party.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gaia from the Vegas Creative Network. Check them out. They're amazing. We're just doing some really fun and awesome stuff here in Vegas, and I hope to continue to do that.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you for subscribing to Vegas Faces on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok under the name Gavri Group. That's Gavri Group. Thanks, everybody. See you at the next episode.